Welcome everybody to another fun episode of We Outside. I'm Trevor. What up, though?
I'm Larry. What's good? What's good?
Yeah, so let's just kick it right off. Larry, is there a? I believe there's a celebration underway.
It's about to be a celebration for the next month.
The next month. How did you celebrate? Is the question.
Well, I called you. I
Of course,
FaceTimed you as soon as the clock hit zero.
to talk your stuff. Yes, you did.
Um, and I had me a little adult beverage to celebrate.
And what would that be?
Um, it was something special. It was something that I was saving for this very moment that I never thought
Okay.
that would happen.
Okay. So let's just get right into it into the Knicks series. The Knicks won the series 4-1. Larry. What's your opinion on the series? Did you like the series? Were you disappointed? Well, I know you liked the series because of the outcome, but what do you think about the series overall?
The series overall, if we look at it from an analytical standpoint, with all of the analytics, the Spurs should have swept. Like, if you really think about it, because Spurs led the series, I think it was like 73% of the time, and the Knicks led
That
27%.
is that is a mind blowing stat right there.
It was crazy. But I will say this, though. This New York team, they showed a lot of heart. A lot of heart, a lot of resilience, and damn it, I'm gonna say it. Jalen Brunson is that dude.
I agree. I wonder what Becky Hammond has to say because she made a comment saying that he wasn't a 1A guy, and he clearly proved that because I believe he falls under one of three players to win Finals MVP, 6'2" and under. He joins the likes of Curry and Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah, I
He,
mean,
he's in that conversation now.
he's he's one of the most selfless superstars. And
Yeah.
when I mean selfless superstar, this man turned down millions so
Yeah, he
that
took
the
a haircut.
team can build around him.
Yeah, he took a haircut.
He took a gargantuan haircut.
Yeah.
But I will say this though is that hopefully our owner James Dolan will take care of him in the end.
Oh, they have to. Let's just say, I don't think Jalen Brunson has to worry about a meal or anything in the city of New York anymore. I'll put it like that.
That man's going to be well taken care of. As I
From here
mean,
on out. From here on out
he's
in New York, yes. And from here on out, absolutely.
he's going to be one of those Knicks that you will always remember, not because of the Finals MVP, but the way that he played. And I think that we're going to talk about Game Five in a minute, but as a series overall, I just San Antonio is young. They are very young, very inexperienced. They're not used to the stage yet.
Yeah.
But you did see some glimpses. Dylan Harper, that dude's a monster.
I have a hard time seeing him coming off the bench next year. I will say, looking at that, the Spurs, this is what the opportunity for them to experience some growing pains. And it wouldn't surprise me if we see the Spurs again, at least, let's just say they'll be in the mix for the next 10 years, especially with that core of Wemby, Castle, and Harper. Those three, those three are the future of that franchise. And I think I said it a while back. I thought Dylan Harper was the second best player on that team anyway. And I wasn't understanding why he was not on the floor in the fourth quarter when it was money time. because he could get his shot. He was one of the very few people on the Spurs squad that can get his own shot.
That just comes down to coaching malpractice right there.
Yeah,
Because let's call it what it is. Mitch Johnson, he's a first year coach. He's not used to the gamesmanship or the nuances, but you got to stick with the hot hand. And Dylan Harper, he was a problem.
he was.
He
He really
was a problem.
he he,
Wimby,
he
grandly
did not
so.
he did not look like a rookie. I will say that. That dude looked like he played in the league for about 2 years.
You know, it's funny because one of the commentators that was doing the commentating of the game, they said that like when you go through an 82 game season,
Not a rookie anymore.
not a rookie anymore.
Hmm.
So he showed up and showed out.
Yep.
And I really think that had he played more minutes, the Spurs could have won some of those games. I'm just going to
Yeah.
be very honest about that.
Yeah. Because I mean, like you said earlier, they were up the majority of the series. The issue was closing out games.
I
That was the
mean,
issue.
yeah, and we got to talk about game 4 because I think that was the whole turning point of the series right there.
Yeah.
Because you're up by 30,
20, 29. Yeah.
29, 30, and you let the lead slip away. Now, part of it was some timely shooting by the Knicks because, you know, they go on runs. But the other part of it is when you're up 30, you got to learn how to put teams away. And the Spurs
Mhm.
didn't do that.
They didn't do that.
You know, when I saw game 4, I almost turned off my TV. I was like, yo, I'm going to bed.
I will say, so I made a comment because, they were showing like all the celebrities with sad faces throughout the
Mhm.
whole time the 29-point lead was up. I was like, look at them sad faces. They look like they're ready to go home. And then next thing you know, the Knicks just start roaring back. And I'm like, oh crap.
Like
Okay.
they were at the end of the third, I think they were down by like 15, 14 and 15,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, if the Knicks come back from this, they're going to win.
Yeah.
And sure enough, they did. Now, we're going to talk about somebody else off the Spurs. De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to address the elephant in the room.
Let's just say De'Aaron Fox definitely disappointed in that series. It was to the point that to me, what I was watching, De'Aaron Fox looked unplayable. Him and Keldon Johnson, because Keldon Johnson won Sixth Man of the Year this year, and he basically gave the Spurs nothing in that series. And so the way I look at it, De'Aaron Fox and Keldon Johnson let this they were basically unplayable.
I mean, De'Aaron Fox had one signature moment in game 3 when he hit that game 3
You hit that
jumper
jumper.
in game
That's
3.
it. And
Besides
that's
that,
it.
he was a no-show. And
Yep,
here's
yep,
the
yep.
crazy part about him, though. He has a contract extension that is like for the next couple of years. Average salary is $55 million.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard to move.
So, which brings me to this next question: if you're the Spurs moving forward, what do you do?
I know De'Aaron Fox is not part of the plan going forward, but who can you find that'll take him? The contract too bloated.
That's true. I mean, because here's the thing: moving forward, Wimby is currently eligible for his max deal. The rookie max. He's eligible for that this starting this summer.
Yeah, but that won't
Um,
kick in for another couple seasons though.
true.
They'll be okay with that.
So I mean, you have a fairly young team. So I mean, De'Aaron Fox. I mean, that contract is so rich though, and he. I mean, you could make the argument that he's not like a top 20 25 player though. You can make that argument, and he's making that sort of money.
And then a lot of people say he was playing on a bad ankle too, but still, I did that contract is going it's going to cause problems for him to get moved.
Yeah, it's gonna cause problems to move, and I think with free agency coming up here shortly, which we're gonna do a show about that though. Um, it's going to be interesting to see, how his contract moves and what the Spurs do moving forward. But they have a good core nucleus or whatever, so I think for the next couple years, they're going to make a run. I think they're going to be Golden State type, Golden State type run.
So you give him dynasty there. It wouldn't surprise me if they play in the
Yes,
finals the next 4 out of 5 years. It wouldn't surprise me whatsoever.
because because you think about it, right? So so let's talk this through real quick. So if you remember your Detroit Pistons in the 80s, right? When they made the finals and played LA as they got over Boston, and then they went on to play LA, they lost that series.
Yeah.
Turn around, come back, they win back to back. So I'm thinking in terms of that, like the Spurs could be on that kind of run because it's the same thing happened with Chicago in the early 90s, when Jordan and Isaiah met in the 90 finals. Sorry, the 89 finals, and then the 90 finals. And then 91, Chicago got over the hump to win three straight. So I think the Spurs, they on that type of trajectory.
Oh, I don't disagree with that. Yeah, I definitely don't disagree with that. So now the question is, since we talked about the Spurs and we have an idea what they're going to look like in a couple of years, where do the Knicks go from here?
So the Knicks got to take care of Brunson. Cat is also eligible for an extension.
Okay.
Um, you know, OG signed his extension. Mikal Bridges when they traded for him. The Knicks have a lot of draft capital. They still have a lot of draft capital that they could tinker with.
Hey, you heard what Hurt said.
What do you
F
say?
them. He said F them picks.
I mean, I mean, yeah, true, but I mean, those picks could lead to, dare I say, Giannis coming to New York.
The only way that's happening unless they get rid of Cat.
I agree with that.
You say bye bye to Cat for Giannis, or would you stick with what you got? Because one of the things a lot of people have been talking about is the team chemistry. You don't want to mess that up.
That is true, but I think with Giannis coming in, that gives an extra dimension to your team, though. You can't ignore that, though. I mean,
But my only
Giannis.
question, my only question to that is, do you give up Cat for Giannis
mm,
after you just won a title with him?
mm, I mean, it'll be tough.
It's gonna cost you Cat and probably somebody else.
Those picks.
And you get that up for Giannis, who only played like 40 games last season.
I mean, well, the Bucks had their own shenanigans dealing with him. So,
Okay, I'm just
but
asking.
I mean, I would because Giannis is a guaranteed 25, 15, 5, and 2 guy.
But
That's
hey,
why I say that.
Cat gave you 24 and 12.
But 5 and 2.
Okay.
And he can stretch the floor. Now, Cat can stretch the floor too, but Giannis is a a true presence down there. I love Cat. Don't get me wrong. I'm not
Okay,
saying trade Cat, but if I was to do it, you know,
you would push the button.
yeah, because if you think about it too, you would have to do it for Giannis' upcoming salary. I think he signed. Did he sign the extension though, or something? Like,
Giannis didn't sign anything right now.
oh, he didn't sign nothing. You would have to match it. I think is he on his last deal?
I believe so.
Last year was deal. Okay, and that's like $60 million. So basically, you would have to, you know, trade if you're doing a straight trade for trade, you would have to match the
You got
dollar
match
amount.
salaries. Yeah, you got match salaries. Yep,
Yeah. So to your point, you would have to trade Cat and you would have to trade somebody else too.
that's right.
So, but that remains to be seen. So,
But
you know, the Knicks, hopefully, moving forward, they'll have if they don't go into the second apron of the luxury tax, I think they'll be fine.
yeah, I will. Will want to say this about the Knicks. They remind me of that 2004 Pistons team. Since you was talking about the Pistons earlier,
Mhm.
and the reason why I say that is because they got a bunch of guys that got traded away and wound up on that team together, and they all gelled and blended together. That's why and they remind me of that squad because a lot of Portland was trying to get rid of Rasheed, and then you got Rip Hamilton. He got moved around and wound up on the Pistons. Chauncey Billups signed up as a free agent to come to
Mhm.
the Pistons, similar to what Jalen Brunson did. They both won Finals MVPs.
Which is kind of cool. I mean, like I would agree with that though, and I would also say too is that like the biggest thing that this Knicks team had, excuse me, they showed a stat today of like all of the champions or whatever. They led from all the championship teams in the last like 25 years. They were like plus 200, which
Yeah,
is
I
like
saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
so.
That's impressive.
Yeah,
If,
yeah,
it,
that was amazing to see that.
if I'm not mistaken, they got had like what 9 road game wins or something like that.
Yeah, that's an
Yeah,
NBA. Yeah, that was a record, and then 13 straight. I mean, you know. So, in your opinion, do you see the Knicks repeating next year?
I'm gonna go with probably not, but I think they're gonna have a say so in the East because the last 8 champions have been different. That's the only reason why I say that.
Mm. I mean, everything has to go right, like it did. I mean, I'm not saying that they can't do it. If I was to give a percentage, I would say it would be like 35%. That
Yeah,
they'll,
yeah, between 20 and 35, I can agree with that.
I would say that though. So,
Okay, so now you brought up Brunson earlier, saying he's the king of NY, right?
oh yes, oh
So where
yes.
so where does Brunson fall in the New York Knicks pedigree?
You know, we had this discussion in one of our earlier shows,
We did.
and I said that he was number three. You know, after sitting on this for like a couple of days, I'm going to shock a lot of people when I say this.
Okay.
He's number two
Behind Clyde.
behind Clyde. He's number two. The game five performance sealed it for me. Game
Yeah,
five, when he scored almost half of the points in the game.
yeah.
He put the Knicks on his back and he basically like did his thing. Like, I mean, and he was a finals MVP. And, he came up in clutch situations. Like
The entire series.
I mean, the whole year, so the whole year he's been clutch. I mean, like him and
Captain Clutch. Ain't that isn't that his nickname, Captain Clutch?
yep, Captain Clutch, the captain. Yep. I mean, sorry, Derek Jeter, but he's a captain now, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, another interesting stat about Jalen Brunson is he's the fourth second round draft pick to be Finals MVP, and he's in conversation with quite a few names as like the Naismith Finals Player of the Year.
Mhm.
He's up there with Kareem, Magic, Jordan, Bill Walton. He's in that conversation.
The man is a winner.
And that's what
Let's
he does. He's
let's
he's one he's one
let's
on he's one on every level.
yes, we gotta start putting respect on this man's name. We have to
Yeah. You
because
have to.
he's a bona fide winner. Like for him to be drafted in the second round, whoever was all those 30 teams that missed on him, they need to be fired immediately.
Oh, that's a bold take.
They need to be fired. Probably half of them are already. But
Well, Nico Harrison is gone from the
what?
man.
Nico, it serves you right, Nico. You
So
trade Luca, but don't get me started on that bandwagon. But um,
so
nah,
now my next question. This is another Brunson question. Is Jalen Brunson a Hall of Famer?
yes.
Okay.
If you look at the Hall of Fame, and I've been studying this for a while now, bro,
Okay.
because there's a lot of guys that were great players that didn't win championships who
And are
had
in.
all of who had Hall of Fame careers, like Carmelo, Tracy McGrady, um, a couple others I can't name off the top of my head.
Grant Hill's in there.
Grant Hill, yeah. So
Chris Webber's in there.
so he's a future Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I can see him getting in at some point for sure.
I mean, now the true question is he a first ballot Hall of Famer?
Yeah, I think that's to be determined. It depends on how the rest of his career goes.
I mean,
Because I believe he
I think
only
he's
like
29, right?
yeah, I believe he like 7 or 8 years into the league right now.
Yeah, he's like
So
29 right now,
yeah,
and
so he got some time.
he got some time. But I mean, he is on the right track, though. I mean, I can't say that he's unworthy to be a Hall of Famer.
Oh, absolutely. Because he's definitely gonna get a statue at some point. His jersey probably get retired for the Knicks. He's done a lot to justify the things he's about to get from this point forward.
I mean, you he turned around the franchise, and it's crazy because the last few days, like a lot of people have been like replaying old sound bites. Stephen A. A couple others was like, "We got Jalen Brunson. We didn't. We should have got Donovan Mitchell, but we got Jalen Brunson." And I'm sitting there like, you know, yeah, because in Dallas, I mean, he showed what he was worth when he was in Dallas.
Hmm.
And I mean, and I will say this though, one person that is underrated in all of this that we gotta give a huge shout out for, Leon Rose and World Wide West. Those two guys, we gotta give them their flowers because Leon Rose was an agent turned president of basketball operations, and
Yeah,
he has done a outstanding job in turning over the roster, changing the roster. You know,
because if I remember correctly, a lot of people laughed at that move.
a lot of people did. A lot of
Yeah.
people did. But little did they know that Leon Rose and Jalen Brunson, that was his client. So, you
Oh,
know,
see, I didn't know that.
So, before was his client, but then he took over the Knicks, and that's how. And then his dad, like to see them two at the end of the game, that moment, man, that
That
was
was a
a
good moment.
real special moment to see. A father and son, like dad's on the coaching staff, your son's a star player. To see you guys embrace like that, and to see like they showed the video of him as a little boy, but his dad was like training him or whatever.
Yeah, shooting in the backyard.
Yeah, that was dope to see that though, and
Yeah,
and we also got to give a shout out to Mike Brown.
yeah.
Mike Brown. He's been all over the league. He started as head coach with Cleveland, took them to the finals. Then he went to L.A. You know
Hmm.
that didn't work out. Had a little bit of success in Sacramento, but then tensions rose in Sacramento,
Hmm.
and now, the Knicks, and he did his thing. So we got to give him his flowers right now, too. So we can't leave him hanging.
Yeah, because one thing I noticed when throughout Mike Brown whole coaching stints, he always was trying to like he always was one like to take the arrows for the next coach to take over. It always felt like he was set up to fail in some cases, and then not now when you look at him, he's like he put on a masterpiece as far as coaching in the finals, and a
Yeah,
lot of and a lot of people tend to forget that because if you think about it, when I heard he never played Brunson and Alvaro together, and he just went ahead and went with that lineup, he changed the game. I think that was what game two or game three that he did that.
I think it started in game two, and then he just kept building
Start
it up.
playing them, start playing them together. So it's like he was willing to try different things, especially in that moment because he was trying to win and he trusted his guys.
Yeah, I mean, Mike Brown comes from the San Antonio Greg Popovich coaching tree. So
Yeah.
he learned a thing or two from Pop.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
so I mean he deserves that championship as a head coach. Tibbs, I mean, gotta give him a shout out too. I mean, he got them to game 7 of the Eastern Conference Final last year, but if we round that though, the Knicks look beat up towards the end because he grinded guys. Mike Brown was smart to like
Use his
manage
guys.
minutes.
Yeah, exactly. So
So,
definitely give him credit for that.
oh,
So yeah,
absolutely.
so yeah, definitely shout out to the Knicks. Definitely ready for the draft to see what happens because I'm always a fan of the draft. I like to see where people go. I like to see where teams make moves to maneuver around to get players. I'm looking forward to that. But that's enough of the NBA for right now. Let's talk about what's going on in the college landscape now. And I know Larry is really passionate about college sports, so I'm gonna let him take this one away.
So, Texas Tech quarterback. For those of you who haven't been following the story, so Brendan Sorsby admitted that he was gambling at his two former college teams at Indiana and Cincinnati. Allegedly made 9,000 bets, wagering over $100,000. He admitted that earlier, I think a month or two ago. The NCAA had ruled him ineligible, and then he turned around, filed an injunction, and then his injunction in Texas got accepted. And then, the conference and the NCAA were meeting to go over this case. Just around an hour ago, Sorsby had withdrew his lawsuit and making himself permanently ineligible, and he plans on going to the supplemental draft. I got a lot to say about this. Trevor, I'm going to give you the first word about this. What are your thoughts about this?
It's a it's a definitely a dicey scenario for sure. I I'm my mind is blown off of it because where does he go from here? Like who's going to want to be bothered? Who's going to want to touch him at this point? And so I just it's an interesting scenario. I'm speechless about it, to be honest with you, because the fact that he got caught doing it and he wanted to sue, I didn't understand that. Did you understand it?
I didn't understand it at all because and I want to be very sensitive about this though, because the young man has says that he has a gambling addiction, and when he had said that, admitted he was gambling on his teams, he checked himself into a 45-day stint at a gambler's recovery center to get that help that he needs. So, but my whole thing is this: is that you know you you're betting on your teams first and foremost.
Which is a no.
I mean, that's like we were taught as growing up, CYO, Pop Warner, Little League, high school, college even. You don't bet on your teams. You don't fix things. You don't do that. And for him to do that, it's kind of like a slap in the face, though.
To a lot of people, for sure.
Because we were taught this. And I'm going to take it from another level on the college level, too. Because here's the thing, too. Before you start your season, and Trevor, you probably have done this, though, because you play college basketball, compliance will come in and talk to you and lay out everything what you can and can't do. I
That's right.
mean, even at my last head coaching job in college, they pretty much said you can't do fantasy football, you can't do parlays, you can't do no sports betting at all, period. you
Mm,
know and now you basically ruin your eligibility and your future potential livelihood because you wanted to bet and everything like that. My question is this: okay, if you were in so much trouble, why didn't you get help before you were found out by the NCAA?
yeah, that's the question. How did it
Because
how did it take you to get caught? To
like, here's my theory, and I'm not going to speak for this young man. Here's my theory on it, though. I think he was trying to get back into the NCAA's good graces. Be like, oh, well, I'm getting help now. Can you be reinstated? I mean, the NCAA rules, it is clearly a black and white. You cannot bet at all. Period, point blank. There's no
mm,
ifs, ands, or buts about it. You cannot gamble on your team. And if you
and they are
gamble on your
and,
team, you're
and that's
ineligible.
firm, and that's pretty firm too.
Yeah, and to think about it too is that they have speakers come in to talk to you during the season, and they share with you their whole thing. I remember we had this dude that spoke to all the student athletes, and he basically laid it out like he was a basketball player and he fixed games.
Hmm.
He fixed games, and he said that it was one of the craziest things that he did, and went to jail for it. Now, I'm not saying that he could go to jail, but who knows? you know and the whole thing about the lawsuit, though, I'm just gonna say this though. So his lawyer, Jeffrey Kessler, who represented against the NCAA in multiple things, he was also the lawyer for Tom Brady in Deflategate. If y'all remember that though,
Mm,
he has a winning track record against the NCAA. So I think that was part of why he was trying to sue to get his eligibility reinstated because he's the one person that the NCAA cannot stand
mm,
because he wins against them. He won against them in the name, image, and likeness and all that stuff like that. So, but I will say this though about this young man though. I mean, you put your team at risk, by being your teams, he's playing on three teams,
mm-hmm.
you put yourself at risk, and then you put your future potential career
Prospect.
at risk,
Yeah.
because it's no different if you think about it, right? 'Cause I've been thinking about this too. It's no different than Pete Rose when he gambled.
Yeah.
It's no different from that. Now, he would say that he didn't bet on his team. I don't know. I wasn't there. Don't know.
Right.
I'll say BS on that, but it is what it is. Like, there's some things in this world you can't do that are pretty cut and dry.
And that's one of them.
That's one of them. You cannot bet on your team. And then it brings a bigger issue to college sports because there's, I don't know if you saw this though, like, I think this past spring, there was like 20 guys, men's basketball.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. Like four guys on one team was caught.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
there was a team at Alabama State that was throwing games, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and which brings a bigger picture to this though is that like if you sued the NCAA, it gives potential other people to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to bet on sports. And if I become eligible, I'm going to get an injunction, and I'm going to get the injunction so I can be eligible. And that would have set a terrible precedent.
Yeah.
I just think that at the end of the day, don't gamble.
Yeah. Just don't do it.
Yeah, I mean
Not
it's
worth it.
real simple.
Because the thing is, people got to understand, like, you think you're getting away with certain things, but the way things are set up now, you can't hide. They're going to find out. They're going to find out, and then they're going to go deeper when they find out the information they need to find out about you.
Like
It's not worth it.
like low key though, the NCAA they can find out a lot of things because they have
Yeah.
a lot of resources.
Absolutely.
If they really wanted to like dig through stuff, now granted they don't have the what you call it. They don't have the subpoena power, but they could find out a lot of stuff that people did. And some of it when you gamble, it's public record a
Yeah.
little bit though.
Oh, yeah.
So again, we just gotta be smart and you know, just don't put yourself in a precarious situation that is going to mess up your money,
Absolutely.
you know. So speaking about him, I mean, I wish him nothing but the best, in your future endeavors. And, I hope everything turns out well for you. Hope you get the help that you need moving forward. And, let this be a lesson to student
A lot of people.
athletes, student athletes and people in general that, hey, don't gamble, especially on your team.
Yeah. It's not worth it.
Yeah. So we're going to switch this up a little bit, though. So the last couple last couple episodes, we've been doing a little bit of talking about each other though. And one thing that I would be failed to mention is that we're just two dudes, simple everyday dudes that, we work, we talk sports and life and everything like that. The one thing that, we well, in Trevor's case, Trevor's a dad, you know, and he's one of the good dads that I know. And next week or whatever, we're going to do an episode. It's going to be a Father's Day episode. You know, talking about fatherhood, life, everything that comes in between it. I don't have kids yet. Hopefully I will one day, Laura willing. But it's going to be a very impactful show, insightful show for us to really dive into it. Um, and one of the things that I want all of our viewers and listeners to take away from this though is that yeah, we talk sports a lot, but we also want to talk about life too, and our experiences, our journeys, our ups and downs, whatever the case may be. So I'm really looking forward to next week though, because fatherhood, Trevor, I can imagine for you it's not easy, especially when you got three girls.
Yeah, it doesn't. One thing I will say, and I'm pretty sure all my parents out there, it doesn't come with a manual. You just gotta show up, be present, and survive the day. That's what I do. And to a lot of people that don't know, like my kids bully me. My kids always roast me. They always make fun of me. They talk about my driving. They talk about my dancing. But at the end of the day, we all love each other. They love me. I love them, and I'm always there for them. I'm always have their back and support them. And then we have our fun moments, and then we have our real life moments. I know every parent out there knows what I'm talking about.
and I will tell this quick story though. So this was I think in 2011 or 12 or something like that. So yeah, it was one of those years. Um, so Trevor and his late wife had gone out or whatever, and they asked me to babysit the
Oh
two
yeah,
girls. So I, the my ex fiance that I was with, you know, we took the girls in, we, babysat them, chilled or whatever. So now I can pretty much bet that the girls probably won't remember this though, but I remember that you packed a DVD, The Tooth Fairy, with the
mm, with the
yeah,
rock.
with the rock, and like um the well at the time the youngest daughter, you know, she fell asleep on me, and as soon as she fell asleep, I I fell asleep, and then I had got up, I think it was 3/4 of the movie done with or whatever, and I get up and because anytime I babysit kids or whatever, I like to have pizza with them, pizza soda, you know. My girlfriend at the time, she was like, I don't think we should give them candy or whatever. And I was like, yeah, you probably be right. It's late, and I don't want to have them be woke, wild and crazy the whole night or whatever. So, so I get up, and True, she was like, "Can I have some pizza?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." And mind you, the pizza was a little cold. I wasn't thinking, I don't babysit a whole lot, you know. So, so she's like, "This cold, can you heat it up for me?" I'm like, "Okay, sure." And then she was asking for some juice. I was like, "Well, I don't have any juice. I got water, Gatorade, soda. Well, diet soda because I don't drink soda, and Jay she drank soda. So you know, so I was like, all right. I was like, I got some Gatorade here. I kid you not. To this day, this story pops in my head. So I gave her like a one of those solo cups of Gatorade. So
Mhm.
not too much. She drinks it, spits it out. She's like, this is nasty. I'm like, it's Gatorade. I'm like, my mom thinking all kids drink Gatorade, and so so
I
I
guarantee you she don't
was,
remember this story.
nah, she probably won't, and let that be. That was my introduction to fatherhood.
Being somewhat of a parent. I will never forget that day, me, you, Tristan, and True when they was younger, went to the hub and like she ordered like some mixed vegetables and they had like the little bitty corn, a little bit of peas and stuff like that. And she just looked at it and we was like, "You gonna eat that?" And she was like, "That's not for black people." I, now
No,
I'll never
no.
because they're like. But the funny thing is, Larry paused for a second. He's like, "You can't make this up." I was like, "Nope, can't make it up whatsoever."
like like it was how she said it, and
Hmm.
it was funny the way she said it though.
The way she said it, yep.
I was I was like, no, I was like, oh my god, like that. I was like, oh man, but yeah, but
And
oh
she still says crazy stuff like that to this day. It hasn't changed.
yeah, and now and now True, she's about to be a senior, right?
Yeah, True graduations this next year.
And Tristan, his oldest daughter, a sophomore,
Yeah, she'll be a
and
sophomore at NAU.
and baby Trin Trin, I call her baby Trin Trin. She's about to go in fourth grade now.
Yeah, fourth grade. Yeah, I thought that one through, folks. Don't judge me.
Yeah, that.
I planned that really well.
Well, for the story you told me of how it happened, yeah. We're
uh,
gonna keep
uh,
that off. We're gonna keep that off the air though.
but I just say one thing. Whoops.
Oh man, that's yeah. Like seriously, folks, I cannot wait to like dive into this topic because I mean there are a lot of good dads out here, and for our Father's Day episode, like I really want to like salute them and highlight them, and and Trevor, he's going to share his experiences as a dad, because and now he's also too a single dad right now, so that to give some inspiration to the single dads out there, that could be having a hard time, struggling or whatever. He can give them his unique perspective and advice on how to navigate that though. So and me, I'm just going to sit back and learn because
Make sure you got a notepad.
him have a notepad, cue cards, index folder, all the trimmings, man. I mean, listen, I got 7 nephews, and luckily they get to go home. I don't gotta keep them.
Yeah, I don't have that luxury.
And the cool part about it is that anytime that I come to town, If I get tired of him, hey, go to your mama, go to your daddy. Leave me alone.
That sounds so wonderful.
Nah, nah. Nah, but seriously though, I mean, like I love my seven nephews to death. I love them to death, man. But they get on my nerves sometimes. But so yeah, but yeah. So next week we are definitely going to do a deep dive about that though. And also some topics. Well, actually no, because that's going to be the majority of our time though. But yeah, folks, thank you for taking some time out of your day to like listen to us, in terms of sports and stuff. Be sure to follow us on Instagram. We outside. It's we underscore outside podcast. Same on YouTube. We underscore outside podcast. And on TikTok, same thing. We underscore outside podcast. And then Trevor, I don't know if you want to share your IG handle with the folks. So
Shoot, I don't even know my IG handle name. I think it's Trevor underscore Henry 30. That's on Instagram.
I did not know your Instagram.
Man, because I barely be on it. I just started being on it because of the podcast.
That is true. Yeah, Trevor, he's not the most social media
I'm a,
friendly.
hey, I'll do better. I'll do better. Just for you, I promise you I'll do better.
I appreciate that. And me, my Instagram is Coach LH underscore tennis. TENNIS. So that's been another episode of We Outside. Signing off as we always do. You know, Peace out. And I gotta say, it's been 53 years. Finally got a chip. We finally got a chip. That's why I wore my Queen's hoodie, my Queen's tennis hoodie. Not from
Yeah, ain't
Queens,
why that.
you know. And my championship t-shirt is in the mail. I ordered it today. So maybe in the
Oh,
next podcast, I may wear it. So,
oh. All right. So we just want to thank you all for listening, and we're signing off. And peace out.
all right. We'll see you guys next week.